Hello and welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your coach Reynoso with my boy
Soltero. What's up, y'all?
Folks, if you're looking for a show that covers different leagues across the world, make sure to subscribe right now because today we're going to be doing a Premier League recap. But in the future, we're going to recap and cover daily reactions to different leagues all across the world. But my friend, today we picked a crazy day to cover Premier League specifically because we had a mixture of results all across the league with some crazy drama involved.
Yeah, a lot of end-to-end action, some crazy equalizers. Nottingham Forest almost pulled the league double over Liverpool, bro. It would have been the first time since the 60s that they would have pulled that off. Nottingham Forest obviously trying to do the impossible and go toe-to-toe with some of the league's best. And today was the perfect opportunity for them at home to try and show the rest of the league what they're truly made of. And brother, for 60 minutes, my friend, Nottingham Forest played an almost perfect match. It was brilliant. That first goal that we got in that first half, in the first 10 minutes, brilliant. It was Forest in a nutshell, winning the ball back in the midfield and quickly moving the ball forward, very direct. And guess who, bro? Chris Wood, finishing like it's nothing, like he's been doing this for 20 years, and he basically has, bro. Yeah. He is a true veteran in this league, knows exactly how to finish these very cutthroat chances. Forest go up 1-0, and honestly, for the rest of that half, Liverpool didn't really know how to crack this Forest defense.
No, and that's why I think this is such a mesmerizing, impressive result for Nottingham, even though it ends in a draw, because this was Nottingham Forest football in a nutshell. And just to highlight real quickly, Chris Wood getting a goal when people criticize the finishing of Darwin Nunez, criticize the finishing of Nicholas Jackson. This is who people talk about. This is who people want in front of goal. When you have that one singular opportunity, guys like Chris Wood, man, stepping up and scoring, providing a crazy atmosphere at City Ground. It was ridiculous, my friend. I think that contributed to why Liverpool couldn't get that goal and couldn't get back into this game truly. I don't think they had a shot on target in the first half, my friend.
Dude, and the response after that 10th minute goal from Forest honestly kind of shocked me. I was expecting Liverpool to almost get a little angry by seeing Forest get so feisty and go up against them the way that they were. But if anything, Liverpool's response in the first half was a bit desperate. They were forcing a lot of chances. They were just trying to get the ball into these really tight spaces rather than just be patient and really dominate the game the way that they're used to. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to put all the credit to Forest in the way that they played because, I mean, Nico Williams was glued to Mohamed Salah. Yeah. He was completely glued to him. Salah, in my opinion, had probably one of his worst games of the season, but it's not really his fault or the Liverpool's teammates. It really was down to Nico Williams and the rest of that Forest back line. They did not give Salah an inch. It's fantastic defense from all around, also including the midfield with Yates. So dominant defensively in that midfield. So full credit to Nottingham Forest to make sure that Liverpool couldn't play the way that they're used to.
Yeah, I went at halftime. I went on X to see what other Liverpool fans' reactions were to that first half, and honestly surprised to see how critical people were being a Liverpool player specifically, because I thought all the woes we saw in that first half were credit to Nottingham Forest causing those desperate reactions and those bad decision makings that we've seen from star players in Liverpool's squad. And so I was still eager to see what would happen in the second half once Liverpool got settled down, once the nerves got away, because this game was very, very tight, and how Nottingham Forest also controlled the match, having that 1-0 lead up, but knowing that Liverpool was going to come at them very hard in that second half.
Yeah, and it all comes down to slot subs, man. Tsimikas and Jota on the pitch for, 50 seconds? And they combine to equalize for Liverpool off of a corner kick. But Jota just slipping through between Murillo and Chris Wood specifically to just get his small-statured head on the end of that brilliantly crossed ball. Liverpool equalize, and for the rest of the 30 minutes, man, we just saw a Liverpool onslaught, but an equally really good defensive performance from Nottingham Forest. I mean, outside of that corner kick goal, this is one of the best defensive performances I've seen all season.
No, 100%. I mean, I think it's time now that I acknowledge the man of the match, in my opinion, and a man that I think woke up today and accepted that if he were to die on the pitch, he would be happy doing that. And that man is Murillo. Yeah. Murillo today was unreal. He became a defensive demon for 90 minutes straight. I came to learn that they had gone 7 hours and a half prior to that Jota goal, having not conceded, bro. I think it's a true testament to what Nuno Espiritu Santo has instilled, this faith and this trust that he has in his defense, man, because if this were any other team outside of Liverpool, I truly believe this, in the Premier League, I don't think they get back into this match. Liverpool only did that because of how good they've been this whole year and how good their cohesion is offensively. It was bound to happen eventually, but any other team, I don't think gets back into this game because Nottingham, their defense is otherworldly right now, man. It's one of the best in the world.
Yeah, no, truly. And Liverpool getting a goal back is also why I think they are destined to win the league. Truly. This is a fantastic point for Nottingham. And if anything, it's encouraging to them knowing that, okay, I mean, we just went toe-to-toe with the best team in the league. We can beat anybody. I agree with your statement. I don't think 99% of teams in the league actually get a goal back against Nottingham in this form. Yeah. But Liverpool did. And I think it's very, very telling in the sense that they still are the best team in the league. They're the most adaptable. They have the most depth, as we saw with Slot bringing on 2 crucial subs in this game. And if anything, maybe, just maybe they could have gotten a second goal. Jota, very soon after that equalizer, had a huge chance, but Sels came up very, very big. Good. And he had a fantastic game as well, the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. But either way, I think Liverpool earned this draw. Forest couldn't hold out for the entire 90 minutes, and I think ultimately that is very telling. Liverpool are still the best team in the league, but for Forest, I mean, this is such good news as far as Champions League qualification is concerned, man. I think they proved to themselves and to the rest of the league that, I mean, they're probably the second best team in the league.
I guess so, man. I can't believe it. They really are.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot in this match. But as far as the title is concerned, I don't think anything's changed.
Yeah, this was the biggest test for Liverpool this season. And that is all credits to Nottingham Forest because Liverpool has played against Manchester City. They played against the Real Madrid, defending UEFA Champions League winners. They played against Bayer Leverkusen, a team who was undefeated 12 months ago. None of those games were as testing as this one was, in my opinion, especially when Liverpool were down 1-0 around the 55th minute and we couldn't find that goal prior to the subs coming in. I was really thinking, wow, like this is pushing us to the limit. What will we do here? Will we crumble and fumble and end up not getting a goal here and losing 1-0? Or do we kind of continue that trend that we've continued on this whole season of getting back into games? We've won, I believe, 13 points off of losing positions in the league this year, second to only Manchester City, surprisingly. But, you know, we've been resilient. We've been very resilient. And I was curious to see if that resilience would be shown today in this tough atmosphere to the only team who had beaten Liverpool this entire season in the Prem specifically. And they did. Yeah. They came back 1-1, and you had the Jota opportunities that Sel saved. But then I also think Mo Salah had a shot off of a corner that was saved on the goal line by the fullback, man. Like so much could have gone differently here. But at the end of the day, I think both teams should leave this game feeling pretty good about themselves because given the context of the game and the situation at hand, Liverpool got a point in a very tough atmosphere, and Nottingham Forest got a point off the best team in the world.
Yeah, and for Liverpool, this has been a really trying period over the last 4 to 5 games where they've actually dropped points. I mean, they lost against Tottenham in the EFL Cup, you know, whatever. But, you know, they tied against Manchester United, where in that game, they really should have gotten the win. The momentum that they had built in the second half should have led to 3 points, but United just stayed in the game and they crept back in, got a 2-2 result. And then in this game, this was a very, very difficult game. And I think a small trend that I'm seeing with Liverpool specifically in these last 3 games is this is Liverpool's slump right now, if you will. But it's still really good. They're still able to fight back. As I mentioned, Mohamed Salah, he's been a little off these past couple games, just a little bit, but he's still so dangerous. And it's why I still think no matter what, Liverpool can face adversity to the highest end, and they prove that today. Even when they're slightly out of form, they're still almost impossible to beat.
Yeah, Diaz, I think, has slowed down. He started off scoring 5 and 5, and now he scored only 3 in the last 13, I believe. Gakpo wasn't the same electric Gakpo we've been seeing lately. Even Szoboszlai coming in can really impact the way that he's used to. But even then, man, we had the most opportunities and we could have won this game. Yeah. So I agree. It's a little bit of a slump, but I think ultimately this does just kind of lend itself to giving Liverpool the title victory at the end of the year, given that they got a point here in a tough atmosphere. And for Nottingham Forest, the question is, can they finish in second? Can they do it?
That's a hell of...
Can they do it? It's a tough task.
Tough, man. There's still Arsenal. I still have Arsenal probably getting that second spot, but I mean, the way Forest are playing, I think they're better than Arsenal right now. Yeah. But there's still a lot of the league left, man. It's going to be fascinating to see. Forest haven't played European football in 30 years.
Unreal.
So even if they finish in third or fourth, I don't care.
They need to, yeah.
I do not care. I just want them to get a Champions League spot. That's it. And I think the way that they're playing, they will secure it.
Dude, that's going to be awesome. See Nottingham Forest play European. I wish they were already doing that, man. Yeah, honestly, because they're one of the best stories in world football right now. And this team, the way they're playing, I truly do think they're one of the best teams. Teams, not individual talent, teams, bro, in the world right now. I'd say top 7. Yeah. Top 7 in the world right now. If we're talking about just the way they play all together, starting 11, the cohesion, the chemistry, I think it's really, really good, man. So credit to Nottingham. If you're Nottingham Forest, I mean, honestly, celebrate this tie. It was an incredible game and just a great game to watch, honestly, back and forth. And in that same line of thinking, in that same theme, we had great games all around in the Premier League. I mean, Chelsea-Bournemouth was another good matchup going in where Chelsea's in the top 4 and Bournemouth is looking in 7th place right now, I believe. But this game was back and forth as well with Cole Palmer scoring the first goal off of a beautiful fake shot to then put it past the goalkeeper. Honestly, shout out Nicholas Jackson for the assist there. It's actually very, very good. But what ensued was a Bournemouth comeback at Stamford Bridge, getting the 2-1 lead at one point through a Semenyo, what I believe to be winner at the time, then getting canceled out by Reece James, the one and only Reece James, scoring a free kick goal to make it 2-2, a tie at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth probably a little unlucky to not get the full 3 points. They had by far the better second half. I think it was enough to get the 3 points. Reece James with a brilliant free kick gets a little lucky by kissing it off of the post, and Chelsea ended up drawing the game. I do think it was even. Chelsea earned the draw, but Bournemouth, in my opinion, were better for longer in this match. Semenyo with a crazy second goal, man. Banging it behind Sanchez. And I just think the way that Bournemouth played, they wanted it more. The defense and the way that they would close down space, I think was the main reason why Chelsea were just completely out in the second half. So I think you're a little unlucky if you're a Bournemouth fan. But I mean, hey, credit to Reece James with a crazy free kick. Outside of that, Chelsea would have lost this game.
And with that, I'm a little more disappointed, I would say, with what I've been seeing from Chelsea in the past 4 or 5 games now, man. I mean, they're dropping points here, essentially, but then also they could have dropped even more had they lost this match. When they were down 2-1, you had fans leaving the stadium early, bro, because they actually looked a little lifeless at one point. Once Bournemouth went up, they looked a little lost of ideas. Luckily, it was through a set piece that they were able to get back into the game, but Chelsea does have an interesting low that has been on display lately that does concern me a little bit. At least when I thought that they could have been the second or third best team in the league, right now they're looking more like 4th or 5th, maybe even 6th at the moment if they continue playing or reaching these low levels in these matches.
Isn't it like their 5th straight league game of not winning? It's just a bunch of draws and maybe like a loss. But it's a really bad run for Chelsea. It's so funny because right before this, Maresca's like, we're not title contenders. And he was right. He was right, maybe he low-key manifested this, bro, because this is just really, really poor. I'm with you. I'm very disappointed in Chelsea. And what I really noticed in this match, specifically in that second half, their mentality's a little off, man. If they face adversity, as they've shown in the last 5 matches, they're fine with being the second best team on the pitch. They're fine with cowering to their opponent and letting them dictate the way the game is played. And you can't do that. Forest are the exact opposite. Yeah. When they face adversity, they hit you harder. Chelsea, they take the hits and they get scared. Madueke on that right-hand side, he's always so electric, but if a defender pockets him, he goes ghost. He goes completely ghost to the point where if you give him the ball, you don't even have to worry about it. Whereas like Mohamed Salah's having a bad game, he can still do something crazy. Madueke just doesn't have that same magic, but you could kind of extend that to the rest of the offensive players for Chelsea. If they're getting pocketed by their opponent's defense, they just kind of get out of the game. Their heads aren't in it, their spirit's not in it, and they just don't work as hard. And I think that's why for the last 5 games, they've dropped some really, really bad points, man.
Really bad. And they have a little bit of an aspect of being mistake prone too. I mean, Caicedo should not have been involved in that penalty and completely took out, I'm not sure who it was, maybe Semenyo, I'm not sure.
It was Semenyo.
Yeah, took him out completely. I thought it was a dumb tackle there. And then offensively, I agree. Jackson had opportunities in this game too to put it away when they were up 1-0. Just couldn't really find the finish. I don't want to be too critical because he had a beautiful assist, but the opportunities were there. They really were to at least extend the lead and make it tougher for Bournemouth to get back into the game. I'm looking at their past 5 games in the league. What concerns me is the quality of the opponents that they've dropped points to. You're right. They haven't won in 5 straight games. Couldn't win against Everton. Couldn't win against Fulham. Couldn't win against Ipswich Town.
Yeah.
Couldn't win against Crystal Palace.
Damn.
And now Bournemouth is the best of this bunch where they end up tying 2-2.
Yeah.
That's concerning for me, man. They got Wolves coming up and now I'm scared.
You should be, man. You should be.
Looking elsewhere, though, we had another crazy 2-2 match with Manchester City going up against Brentford 2-0 at one point with what looked like the return of my boy Phil Foden, who I just haven't seen in so goddamn long, scoring 2 goals in this game to extend the lead for Manchester City. But then what ensued was a Thomas Frank masterclass once again as Brentford gets back into this game, chips away at the lead with the Wisa goal to make it 2-1, and then Norgard with a game-tying goal, game-tying header to make it 2-2. Brentford gets a point out of Manchester City as they continue their struggles.
This one's well earned. I thought Brentford did as much as they could against City, and honestly, we're a little unfortunate to go down 2-0. The first goal from Foden, though, my goodness, what a goal. Beautifully kissing it off of a really nice cross. There's nothing you can do to stop that. It's just pure class from Foden. And, that's what gives City this lead is just their pure individual quality, whereas I thought Brentford's team play was fantastic and, was more deserving of something, and they eventually get it. 2 goals in 10 minutes. That's like, what, the 5th time that's happened against City, bro? Over the last 2 months? This is pathetic at the end of the day, though, because if you do get a 2-0 lead and you're in the 80th minute, lock up. Yeah. Set up shop, man. Get the 3 points. But it's just not happening for City right now. And there's so many moments, especially in the first half, bro. Mateus Nunes had a golden opportunity, and he got it in his head. He had too much time and didn't even get a shot off. That is City's offense right now in a nutshell. It's unconfident. They don't have it in them the way that they used to. Erling Haaland even had a lot of chances in this match, bro, but he missed a ton in that first half. So I think the chances that Brentford created throughout the entire game with Wissa and Mbeumo specifically was definitely deserving of 2 goals. And Damsgaard had a great game. For me, man of the match. He set up one of the goals in the second half for Brentford, but he was everywhere, constantly creating, being very, very dangerous from an attacking perspective for Brentford. He had a really, really good game. Good to see Damsgaard really showcase his potential because, for the last year and a half or 2 years, he just hasn't really hit that mark. But game like today is why Brentford signed Damsgaard in the first place.
Yeah, Brentford getting the 2-2 draw here. This is just so back and forth. It was wide open even in the first half, man. Like, I was surprised that it took 60 minutes to get a goal in this game. But once Phil Foden got the goal, the floodgates open and you get 4 goals in this match. Brentford now is in 10th place with this tie. Manchester City stays in 6th, but that's with the game in hand. Things are going to get ugly for Manchester City if this trend continues. Did you hear, because I don't want to get too personal here, all right? We're talk football on this show, but Pep Guardiola is splitting from his wife. They're splitting as well.
Fuck,
and people are highlighting like, bro, people are like, I was not aware how much of Pep Guardiola's happiness relied on Rodri's fucking ankle, man. Or whatever ligament got torn, man. Because since that injury, we've seen a downfall like no other. Pep Guardiola is having one of the worst seasons a man could have. Your woman leaving you, bro? I'm not even trying to joke here, man. I think it signifies how bad things are right now, man.
Oh, God, dude.
It's brutal. It's brutal, bro. Brutal. So yeah.
Yeah, well,
splitting up.
it's the end of an empire. Everything falls.
Everything falls, man. Everything that's in
Good
sight.
Lord, what a crumble.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. The last game of the day was West Ham defeating Fulham 3-2. This is the only one I really wasn't able to see. Did you see any of this match?
No, I was going to say my eyes were glued to the Forest Liverpool game, and then, I would glance at the Chelsea game and, saw 20 minutes of the other game, but I didn't see any of this game.
Yeah, so, I would ask the question then, more disappointing from Fulham or more impressive from West Ham this result? Because after I saw the scoreline, I had a certain feeling. And that was that specifically. I'm looking at Fulham like, how the hell do you lose this bad?
Yeah.
They were down 3-1 at one point. They could never really get back into the game based off what I saw on the score sheet. But West Ham right now, winning their first game, I believe, under Graham Potter.
Oh, wow.
And so maybe the resurgence of, a West Ham side that did look dead these past couple of months.
Yeah, I only saw the first 15, 20 minutes, saw the first goal that West Ham scored. Brilliantly taken hit from Carlos Soler, a really poor clearance from the Fulham defenders, what led to that chance. Prior to that goal scoring opportunity for West Ham, though, they dominated that first 15, 20 minutes. I'm curious to see how Fulham really responded, though, for the rest of the match. I have no idea. They made it close, I guess, at one point making it 3-2. I wonder if it was just a case of a bad first half for Fulham. Either way, though, from what I saw from West Ham in those first 20 minutes, it looked good. They look definitely up for it. I think it's definitely a case of, a new manager mentality. We've seen it with Wolves under Vitor Pereira. The players seem to be, up for it when you get a new manager. And maybe that's what's happening here. Either way, a great win for West Ham. Curious to see if this can translate to upcoming games.
Likewise, man, because for Fulham, I'm looking, bro. In their last 7 games, they only won 1 game, and that was against Chelsea. They tied Arsenal. They tied Liverpool. Those are 2 tough ones. But then they tied Southampton, beat Chelsea, tie Bournemouth, tie Ipswich, and now they finally lose to West Ham. This is a bad streak right now for Fulham, who I think did start off the season a lot better than the moment they're in right now. They remain in 9th place with a game in hand. West Ham moves up to 12th. Keep an eye on that because Fulham, I just expected more out of this game specifically. So surprised to see them lose like this to West Ham. But credit to West Ham, getting a victory under Graham Potter may be a sign of things to come.